This showed some promising improvement in achievement across all 3 groups in my class. So I went that extra step. What Term 1 taught me was that I didn't have to spend so much time doing content in the class. How could I make better use of my face-to-face time with my students? So during the end of term holidays, I decided to create a flipped mastery model, and I did this with another teacher to help ease the workload. Here's what we found out. So in term 2, as I said before, myself and another teacher decided to implement a flipped mastery model with the electricity topic. So this again included some videos that I made, but because of time, some videos that we found on YouTube and other places. So it wasn't always me, and that came back in the feedback as one of the work-ons I could do, because they like to see me rather than just other videos found on YouTube. We created hyperdocs to monitor where the boys were at, so they each had to complete one hyperdoc before moving on to the others. And each hyperdoc had a mix of a video for the content, some interactive web-based tasks or hands-on build-a-circuit activities, and a reflection using Solo. Before they could advance to another level, they had to face me in a boss battle, and I would use their reflection and give them a bit of a quiz as to what their understanding was. I also incorporated a hands-on boss battle where I would give them a challenge, and if they could solve that challenge, then they were ready to move on. So here was their baseline data. Now this was the only similar topic I could find, and it was actually their end-of-year exam. So the data, probably not the best data to use, but quite interesting that their understanding of these abstract physics concepts seems to be quite low. So I used their chemistry data as well as their previous topic test to inform whether or not they were improving for this topic. So here's some feedback. Interesting that they found it quite challenging. Asking for help seemed to be quite a challenge for a few boys. A lot of controversial sort of comments about the hyperdocs. I think they found them quite challenging. The boys were made aware that to get to completing level 3 meant that they had enough to get at least achieved in the test, and obviously getting to level 5 meant that they were really well prepared for the end of topic test. This was just a bit of feedback. I tried 2 types of hyperdoc, one just using Google Docs and slides. And here were some comments. Interestingly, I liked things like I couldn't bluff my way through when I said I was finished. Maybe a bit more agency and accountability through the boss battles was quite cool to see. So lots of interesting comments there. And some things that they didn't enjoy. I had to finish everything. It was quite funny. A little bit of anxiety maybe around boss battles. That's just fair enough. And we acknowledged as teachers as well that maybe our hyperdocs were a bit too long per level. And unlike, we use video games as sort of an analogy for the mastery system, but we didn't start them off very easy. They were more based on content rather than difficulty. So maybe an onboarding of an easier hyperdoc to sort of get them motivated might have been a better or an improvement for next year. This was a fantastic piece of feedback. But generally, the majority of the class is really enjoying the flipped learning. I also tried to increase accountability using PlayPosit, a program, free program online that you play your videos through, so the boys don't use YouTube. Use YouTube to upload them, but what happens is you can embed questions that as they're watching the video pauses, question pops up, it gathers all their answers. You can have it so that they can't continue the video unless they've answered the question, and that can actually allow you as the teacher to see exactly where they're at when they come to the class, if you've set it for homework, and to see where your boys are at and what answers they're giving when they're watching the videos. So it shows that understanding. It was quite a powerful tool, but obviously very liked by the boys. So did it work? This was some remarkable data. As you can see here, I only had one student fail this end of topic test. Interestingly, the NZ European boys didn't get any excellences, and seeing again solid improvement with my Māori boys, and really pleased that all of my Pacifica boys managed to pass this test, which was really cool to see. So clear improvement, but maybe not allowing access to that deeper level for my NZ European boys, and that could be a result of them not getting to the right level. So funny enough, the mastery model didn't work in regards to maybe there should have been a point where, well, you can sit the test when you're ready, and I obviously ran out of time, so just made them all sit it at one point, and obviously they were all over different levels. So I know a lot of them obviously knew all the basic stuff from the first couple of levels, but maybe didn't get to that higher level, deeper stuff as they progress through the mastery model. Again, I wanted to compare this to the other classes. So again, across the board, electricity seemed to be quite an enjoyable topic. Interestingly, comparing this class, Māori students not doing so great. And again, here, the Māori boys struggling a little bit, but Pacifica and NZ Europeans getting similar results to me. And what was really interesting to see is that joint class that we had that also used a HyperDoc mastery model showed very similar results to me. And I know from the data, a lot of boys got to higher levels in this class compared to mine. And I think that's evident in the more excellences that you can see here, which was really cool to see. So 2 classes this time with the mastery model. And I feel like the higher the level they got, the better the mark they had. And I think if we're ever going to, use that mastery model, it should have the last level as maybe the test, so they progress through and get to it in their own pace. Māori student achievement in both classes showed an increase. We also, as a side note, introduced solo at this in this term for what we're looking at doing in 2019. And yeah, some really cool data.